Good afternoon and welcome to the Pittsburgh Land Bank meeting of January 8th, 2021. Our first order of business, we'll call this meeting to order. Our first order of business is public comment. We have one registered speaker. That speaker is Ruby Velasco. And if you're with us, you'll be given 3 minutes. Ms. Velasco, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I wanted to thank the board today for the chance to speak. I'm speaking with the Community Reinvestment Group, a membership-based coalition of over 30 community organizations within the city of Pittsburgh. We ask that the land board think about a few things before they take this action. We feel that the land bank needs a dedicated director, staff, and outside counsel who are experienced in land and property recycling and are responsible to the land bank board only. This will be key in order to expeditiously move property through the system and back on the tax rolls, as we have seen how the utilization of existing staff in the city has hampered the land reserve process, and as how the same process with the URA in the past produced no results and cost the land bank its goodwill. In order for the land bank to be operational, it will need a sustainable operating revenue. To achieve this, the land bank will need to secure agreements with all taxing bodies, not only to recycle delinquent property, but also to provide sustaining financial support. Other land banks have been able to get this as part of their agreement with the taxing bodies, a diversion of 50% of the restored taxes for 5 years. We see this as a critical first step. The land bank should not be a revenue source for the URA. It should cover only its costs, staff, and operational costs to clear title and hold real estate until it can be sold. If under the URA, the land bank must also retain its mission and commitment to neighborhood groups who have been the primary actor in moving tax delinquent property to reuse. The land bank and the city will need to work with PCRG and neighborhood groups to assess and integrate the Pittsburgh Land Reserve as part of the services offered by the land bank. If the land bank can assure the public that these goals can be achieved in this move and gain its end goal of independent property recycling with transparency, retain a strong partnership with neighborhood groups, and be operational with property recycling in the next 12 months, then we should move forward. Making the land bank operational will change the way and the rate in which land is recycled. For these reasons, we cautiously lend our support to it becoming an affiliate entity of the URA. PCRG will also gladly work to help the land bank realize all its goals and become a value tool for the city and neighborhood's future. Remember, we'll be watching and we're here to help. Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much for your participation. Seeing no other speakers, we will now move to the roll call. We ask Julie, if you please call the roll.
Sure. Reverend Burgess?
Here.
Councilman Lavelle?
Here.
Councilwoman Kale Smith?
Here.
Senator Fontana?
Here.
Director Walker?
Here.
Director Mazza?
Here.
Director Wilson?
Here.
Dr. Bay?
Here.
All right, all members are present. Rev, you look like you're muted.
All
There you
right,
go.
sorry.
It's okay.
Again, this new world in 2021, I'm still getting used to. I need a motion to approve says March, is that right?
That's correct.
March 220 and November 220 minutes.
Motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. I just want to, first of all, thank all of you for your diligence in support of the land bank as we move now, as we all know, into a new direction. I want to thank the administration. I want to thank Council President Teresa Kell Smith, and I want to thank the URA for all working seamlessly together to move us in a new direction. And I'm grateful to be a part of this mixture of elected officials, community leaders, activists, all working together for the betterment of our community. And wish everyone certainly a happy new year. This takes us then to the administrator's update. Julie, it's in your hands.
Thank you. I'll take the first two. So item A, PLB manager job posting update. So on December 14th, the URA posted a job for a Pittsburgh Land Bank manager. This would be a full-time position at the URA dedicated to the land bank. So just a reminder to the board, if you know of anybody or if anybody out there in the public is interested, please apply, please send them our way. And we'll be looking to get somebody on board full-time to manage the Pittsburgh Land Bank. Item B is the URA PLB agreement. So we have an update there. One thing we talked about at our meeting in December was the need for an updated or a new agreement. So our legal counsel has completed a first draft of that agreement and will be circulating to the executive committee soon. And that agreement would replace the existing MOA that's in place between the PLB and the URA. And then the third update, I'm going to hand over to Mimi. So an update on the pghlandbank.org website.
Update on the PLB website. At some point in 2020, the website was no longer working. So the update is that it is now up and working. Everything has been updated and we will be moving forward. So any updates regarding PLB, you should be able to find them on the website.
Okay, thank you very much. That takes us to a finance report. Back to you, Julie.
Yep, thank you. So Mimi's going to take down the agenda and put up the memo that was circulated to board members earlier this week in their board packets. So as you'll recall, in November, we reviewed and accepted the 2018 and the 2019 audit for the PLB. And one of the recommendations in that audit was to adopt an accounting principle for restricted funds that the land bank does not have, but might have in the future. So our director of finance prepared a memo and a policy for the board to consider today. So this memo is intended to confirm that the Pittsburgh Land Bank follows all generally accepted accounting principles and government accounting standards board pronouncements. As mentioned in the financial statements, the PLB does not at current have restricted resources. If and when the PLB does obtain restricted funding, the PLB will adopt any applicable standards, specifically GASB statement number 54, fund balance reporting, and government type definitions. So with that, our staff recommendation is to adopt this policy for the Pittsburgh Land Bank. Does anybody have any questions about it?
That doesn't require a motion of anything, does it, Julie?
We would like the land bank to pass a motion accepting that new policy.
All right. I need a motion to accept the new policy coming from the financial. Any second?
Second.
Any conversation on the motion? Any other questions? If not, everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us to new business. We do not have any new business and we do not have any additional public comment. Is there at the bottom is our schedule. And so our next meeting will be after my birthday, February 12th, on a birthday in between that time. Any questions or any statements any board members want to make before I say some concluding things?
Reverend Burgess, can I just report on
Yeah.
one thing? Thank you.
Sure.
I was sent a draft bill amending that would amend the municipal claims and tax lien law. I just want to report that I received it. I forwarded it on to our Senate staff. They'll be looking through that in the next month. Obviously, that's the law that Pittsburgh utilizes, for land recycling purposes. So there's been some proposed amendments to that to make acquisitions faster. So we're going to be considering that, and I'm sure I'll have more to report in the coming meetings. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Senator. We appreciate your diligence and your support and your service.
I have a question, Rev, for the,
Dr. Bailey.
building on our conversation earlier. Can we talk a little bit, or at least, since this is the public version of the meeting, to assure that the role of that manager that we're hiring is still going to be reporting and directed by the Land Bank Board and not the URA, that the URA is handling the administration, just for public clarity? Can we talk about that a little bit, or can we comment or affirm that?
Yeah, Julie, do you want to take either you or Diamante, you want to take the first crack at this?
Yeah, I'll start. And Diamante, if you have anything to add, please chime in. But when we talked about this back in November about integrating the PLB as an affiliate entity of the URA, we talked about the level of separation there would be between our board and the PLB board. So our affiliate entities, we have about 5 of them, I think, at the URA, have different levels of separation. And we see the Pittsburgh Land Bank as one of our most separate entities. It has a separate board, and it has, its own city council legislation that details out who needs to be on that board. So there's a pretty strict level of separation between the PLB and the URA. Our agreement with the URA would be to provide staffing. So staff will be here to support the board and help implement the PLB's mission.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add is that, so the land bank is certainly not a revenue generator for the Urban Redevelopment Authority. The URA has deployed considerable resources of its own to invest in the staffing that could support the new direction. And so the URA, from a land disposition standpoint, has tried to flesh out proof of concept so that as the land bank stands up, it will have a nimble way to dispose of property when that relationship is between an asset that is owned by the URA and the land bank. We still have to figure out the property reserve issues that exist, but those are wholly controlled by the city. And so the land bank is the tool that was designed to help improve upon that. And so that PLB manager will be nested within the URA in leveraging all of the resources, talent, and back office systems that are made available so that that is not a burden to the land bank as the land bank focuses on recycling property. And so the goal here is to use the deep bench of support from the URA from a technical standpoint to assure that the land bank is not burdened with administrative costs while it's trying to stand up. So that PLB manager will be working under the guise of the board, but leveraging the full strategic support of the URA, which over the last 2 years has essentially revamped itself to become a more equitable organization that's focused on how to bring publicly held land back to productive use in the interest of community. It is still a large redevelopment authority that will need to focus on major projects, but there is no reason why communities should be stifled from advancing projects because the tools that we have right now are not optimal. I believe the land bank to be the most equitable and optimal tool. And I think that this board is well poised to move on that as we get closer to the middle of 2021, and that PLB manager and some other staffing supports that need to be put around the PLB will make that happen.
All right, thank you very much. Any other conversation? Well, again, thank you for your attention, your time, and your commitment as we move on, even in COVID, to this new year. We do this thing together, and for the good of our city and for the good of our communities. And so with that, again, Happy New Year, and I'll entertain a motion to dismiss, adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Need a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. We are adjourned.